got to here. Project Insight is a PMBOK-based project management tool when we first started and built out basic traditional waterfall project plans. And over the years, we added different kinds of functionality, and our goal was always to support all the different functions of uh, methods of project management all in one. And over the years, we've discovered or learned how, there are software projects out there that are generally typically agile based, and then there's implementations and other projects where tasks are sequenced together. And there's tools designed for each of those, but not a lot of tools can do both at the same time. And the reality is, a lot of projects have both elements built into them. I'm going to show you today how we've done that with Project Insight. In the last tutorial, we showed you how we integrated with Jira, and we also have an integration with DevOps. That was one of the ways that we tackled this situation where a regular project plan had steps in it and tasks in it, and then the agile stuff was done in a whole different tool. So with this tool now, you can do it both ways, all in Project Insight. Um, the tr- just to start off, you should be seeing my screen here. And before I go into the new feature and how to use it, I want to remind everybody that's not familiar with our tool that every team member, when they log in, this is the first screen they see here. And all they really need to do, and when I say a team member, someone just performing tasks, maybe they're a software developer, maybe they're a marketing person, all they really need to do is click on this link here, and they can see the task right here they're supposed to do, and then what project it is on, and they can update their status here and enter time or make comments. This is the same whether you're using the agile features in our tool or whether you're using the waterfall. So this doesn't change. It's just real important to make sure everyone realize how simple the work list is. And I'm going to go through a scenario right now that uh, I'm shifting gears now to talk about the project manager and how the project manager needs to manage a certain project. You may uh, remember to navigate to your projects, you can just go to the main menu, go to projects here, or from here, I can go to projects. On the home screen now, you also see a new icon with this add-on, uh, sprints. That'll show up there once you install it. By the way, the sprints feature is totally free for your enterprise clients, and then for anyone using free PI, it's available as a paid add-on. So my use case here that I'm going to talk about is we have regular projects going on. We're doing a consulting project for a customer. Soylent is the customer, a fictional company we're doing projects on. You've got your regular waterfall tasks going on, and I'll just jump over to our task list. You have your regular plan here where you're doing some things, and then all of a sudden we have some things that need to be done with our software team. And normally, if you're doing like a project this way, and maybe it's a marketing project, it's not just consulting projects. It can be any kind of thing where you're rolling out some big new program for your company that involves some kind of software dev. You need a mobile app done, or you need a website update, you need something that your dev team needs to do. Well, they're all usually in another tool, or they're doing it a different way than maybe you are with your tool. And the normal process for a lot of people is to go re-enter the work in the other tool and just kind of manually handle um, that process. In this case, now we can actually have these tasks delegated to them through our sprint feature where they can manage it that way. You can see here on the very far right, I've actually included a column sprint, and I've put these two tasks into this sprint uh, for the development team to do. Um, so to get to the sprints, you can just click on the main menu and click sprints here, and you'll see here's my June bug sprint, and I have another sprint that we were working on, and then a future sprint as well. And when sprints are closed out, they move over to the right here. The June bug sprint right now, I'm going to just jump over in here real quick so you can see. This sprint right here covers that consulting project that we were doing and these other projects here, these different projects that you're doing. So one of the things that we've done that's a lot different than say other agile tools is that the reality is that the dev team might be working on something for more than one project at a time. So in my case, I have 3 different projects, and then the other project that I added to them. So here I have the overview of this sprint that's part of the way done. And you here at the top here, these are the tasks in the sprint. And then you can see below here are all of the different things in the backlog. And you can see all the different projects that we are connecting here. So a big difference between what we've done with Project Insight and other tools is that when you start a sprint, you can say this is going to cover 3 projects. It's going to cover maybe 1 project. You can do a sprint for just 1 project, or you can do it for multiple projects. And the reason this is helpful is that in our case, we have two implementations or 3 implementations and an infrastructure going on. We have to combine those tasks in the next 2 weeks so that the development team can work on it. They don't really care that it's in those 4 projects. The project managers in those 4 projects do care that their things are getting done. The developers don't really need to be bogged down with knowing that it's on 4 different projects. They just need to focus on what they're going to try to do over the next 2 weeks, and they can see all of these tasks below here. In a minute, I'll show you how to build a new sprint or what you do when you're first setting out. But this is the basic overview. We have 204 hours of work in our original estimate. We completed 44. We have 23 actual. That's the main view for seeing your sprint. We also have a status board, which is a Kanban board, and we also have a Burndown chart or charts on link. Here's your on the charts link. We have our Burndown chart, which is a pretty common feature for sprints, where you have our ideal line. We're going to burn down this work over the next 2 weeks in this blue line, and then you can see we actually in Project Insight we actually have 2 lines here. One for your remaining work, which is based on the tasks being marked done. And then we actually have this orange line, which is your actual entries, which is based on time entries. Many companies do log time for maybe they build a customer or they just want to know how they're doing. If you happen to be using all of those features, then the time entries that are added onto the tasks will add up into your time entry system, into the regular stuff that Project Insight does. Also, the work in here shows in capacity. But in this case, you can see we're actually tracking pretty well on our ideal line. Below there, you can see how many tasks are assigned to each of your people, and then how many hours they actually have in a pie chart. And then at the bottom there, you can see who has the most work to do. The blue line here is work that is assigned. The light orange line is the completed work, and then the dark line is the actual entered hours. So in this case, the Steve West user, that's me. I've done 44 hours and I've marked 40 done, but I haven't logged any time entries. This Project Insight user, 32 hours, completed 4 hours worth of work and entered 15 hours. So this gives you like a high level view. As if you're the Scrum master and you're trying to figure out what's going on, you can look at your plan together. In a way, the sprint is actually its own project plan based on all of the different things that are going on in just your group, even though your organization is doing more things than that. You wouldn't be complete without a Kanban board. Here's a status board, so you can mark things done this way by just dragging them over into the new column. This is now done, or maybe you're in progress on something. You just want to show that it's in progress. So we have a Kanban board. Let me navigate back to my main project. So in here, that project Soylent Consulting, if I'm looking at this task, I can click on it and I'm right back to the task list. Similarly, as a project manager, if I need to go take a look at the sprint that this is in, I can just go see what's going on with the sprint. So they're linked together, but these tasks that you see in this list is the exact same task in both project plans. So as the developers mark their tasks off in this tool, your project plan, your regular traditional plan is updated. If some of these tasks were linked to Jira, these don't happen to be, but if they were linked to a project in Jira, they would also be updated from the updates happening in Jira. So you can use this sprint tool with our Jira integration to aggregate tasks in that came over into Project Insight from the Jira integration. So it's totally not, it's not limited to just what you can do inside Project Insight. You can do it with the integration with DevOps or the integration with Jira as well. So this is a way for a project manager to get a high level view and burn down that information in our tool. What's really great is that uh, all of the data that you see here, time entries and worksheets, tasks and things are rolling up into all of the same reports. So if I go to my uh, all of my cross project Gantt chart, for example, this data that's in the sprint basically feeds this information as well. So let me show you guys how to start a new project or a new sprint. So to add a new sprint, you can simply hit this plus here, add a new sprint, choose a name. A lot of people use a version number of their software, and you pick a primary project. Say we're doing something for this client. We'll just talk about, this is the August sprint, sprint version 3.1, let's say. And you can choose a start date that this sprint's going to happen August 1st through August 12th. And then here's where I was talking about where you can add different projects together. You can say, well, we're also going to be doing some different tasks for these different projects as well. So this is our main project we're trying to get done here, and these are the extra projects we're going to do. You can pick a color of your sprint if you want, and then navigate in. So here I have my August sprint, and there's nothing in it yet, and it hasn't been activated yet. It's still in the planning phase. If I want to add certain tasks, yeah, we need to do the configuration changes. We need to gather some requirements or whatever the tasks are. If you just hit the little plus button, finalize reports, you can see I'm actually starting to build out the sprint that we're going to do in the future. It's that simple to be able to add tasks from the backlog in. If you want to remove a task from the sprint, you just hit that button. If you want to enter a task here just into the tool, you can enter it right into the sprint or even into the backlog. So let's say you have a new task to do. You would put new task to work on, and you can pick how many hours that is. Let's say it's 8 hours. You can assign it to somebody. This is going to go to Eric Griffith, and then you're going to hit save. That's how easy it is to just add a new task right into the sprint, or you can do the same thing here in the background, in the backlog. So everything kind of works the same as you would expect from our regular task list and our regular project insight tasks. So uh, these things can, you can basically also update the status as well. So it basically works the same as any other of the project's tools that we have in the tool. So I see a couple questions going in there. Ashley asks, "Will this read write data back to the sprint values in Jira?" Well, it right now it reads the writes back into the to the tasks or the actual work items in Jira, but we don't actually map the sprint. And the reason we haven't mapped the sprint is that Jira has a limitation that sprints can't cover more than one project at a time. And so therefore we're allowing more than one. So if you have 3 different Jira projects you want to combine into one sprint, we can do that. But we have our own data for that. We're not actually reading or writing the data from the Jira, the actual sprint object or the sprint name in Jira. We're not reading and writing from that. But the data within the sprint, if you update it here, it would read right back into the system. Are there any other questions out there about this feature? I mean, we're running out of time on our 15 minutes, but I'll hang a little bit longer. So I see another, I see a question. When I update tasks in the sprint, does it update the original waterfall plan? Yeah, so I mentioned that earlier that if I mark this task done, uh, here, if I say this is going to be done and I clear that off and then I go into the Dunder Mifflin, the gather requirements task is marked complete. You can see here. So they're connected. If I'm a project manager in here and I want to change the status, no, it really wasn't done, or maybe it's you want to update the status here, I can move it back. And then when we go back to the sprint that we were on, it actually changed it to the status there. So everything's linked together the same as it was otherwise. Are there any other questions out there? So just like we were saying before, that the time entries on this tool work the same. If you put time entries into the tasks, they log right back into the time home. So they'll show up here in this time area for submission. So the team members don't really need to do anything different here. It's just another way for you guys as a for you project managers to basically look at projects as a whole. So, well, anyway, let me, for those of you guys on the, oh, there's one more question. Are there any limits to how many projects can be included in a sprint? No, there really is no limit how many projects you can combine into one sprint. It can be one, it can be 10, it could be 100. You probably wouldn't have 100, but it can be as many as you want. Let me talk about how to get the add-on. So just like all the other features, if you're an enterprise customer, it's in the add-ons area. You'll say go to get more add-ons, and you'll look for sprints. I actually have it installed already, so it's in there, and you'll just add it onto your tool. It's totally free for anyone in enterprise. It's the same process for anyone in the free PI, but it's a paid add-on there as well. So to install this, you'll just go into your get more add-ons and install it, and then from there you'll see the new icon on your home screen. You'll also see the new icon in the main menu. And the other big change is when you have a project plan, that in the views, there's a sprints option in here that shows you all the sprints that your project is connected to. The other thing that'll happen is you'll have the new sprint column in the available columns. So just like I was saying earlier, you can actually add a item into a sprint by just simply, I can say I want this in the August sprint. So you can actually do it from the task list as well. I want to have that developer meeting with the client in the August sprint. So I didn't show that earlier, but you can add tasks to and from a sprint from both the task list, or you can do it from the sprint itself. So it's really, really simple and easy to take advantage of this new option. So we're real excited about it, and we're happy to announce that it's available today. And thank you guys for coming to the Power tutorial. And we're looking forward to having our next one in a few more weeks. Thanks.